One of the biggest things I get from people is I need more self-discipline, self-control, willpower. And people are obsessed with these things when it comes to weight loss and fat loss and changing their behaviors. Actually, it's not really like that. You see, if someone has lots of temptations in their environment, they need to use willpower more, self-control more, discipline more to an extent. What if you actually remove those temptations? That would make the path to your goal smoother. So that's what we're trying to do. A lot of the time we don't need that. People that do very well when it comes to weight loss, fat loss and behavior change simply alter their environment in a way that it makes them easy to progress and move forward. Okay, you can picture two people. One person has heaps of junk food in the plain environment. Everywhere they go, there's lots of junk food. Compared to another person where in their plain view in their environment there's lots of fruit, lots of veggies, lots of good food, a lot of water. You can see already which person is going to get better results, and that's what we're trying to do. So what we want to do at the start is we want to go through a nutrition audit and an environmental audit to see what food is around us. There's a theory by Dr. Stefan Guyenet called the cost of food, and it relates back to when we used to live in caveman times, evolutionary psychology, called the cost of food. And when there's high calorie food around, our primal brain will increase the motivation to go and get it if there is a small cost of getting the food. So if you don't have to expend that many calories to get something that's going to give us a lot of calories, our brain is going to increase dopamine and motivation to go and get it. Versus if we have to expend a lot of calories to go and get something that we're going to get the same or even less amount in, there's going to be no motivation there. Easy example, you have a tub of Ben and Jerry's in your fridge. All you have to do is expend a few calories to go and get that 1200 calorie tub of ice cream. Your brain's going to increase the motivation to go and get it. Versus you have to go and walk down the street or to the other side of the city to go and get the same tub. The motivation isn't going to be as high. So we need to understand these mechanisms, and it's nothing to do with willpower. These are how our brain is wired, and we need to understand this and then plan our environment around it. So first thing, have a think. If you're looking at your home environment where most people spend the majority of the time, what food is there in plain view, in eye level view especially? Is there lots of processed food? Is there lots of junk food? Is there fruit? Is there veggies? Is there water? That will dictate, okay? And what we want to do is have more of the low calorie healthy food in plain view rather than the other stuff. They've even done a study where whatever food is in arm's length of somebody when they're watching a movie, whether it's popcorn or fruit, that's the food that they're going to eat. So all these things come into play. So firstly, we want to construct an eye level environment in the house which has the foods we're going to eat. If we don't have it, okay, then we need to look at where are we going to shop, where are we going to buy it, when are we going to get it, all these other habits that will lead into that. When it comes to having high calorie food at home, there's a few trains of thought. Some people can have something a bit higher calorie oil processed food at home and they're okay and they can eat it in moderation. The majority, including me, can't. Now obviously on a flexible fat loss plan, we still want to be able to include foods we enjoy into our plan and account for them in our calories, because that's going to lead to a more consistent plan. So we can either only buy the exact portion of the processed food we're going to account in a day. For example, someone likes to have a bit of chocolate each day. Don't go and buy the big block because you're more likely to overeat on that. Especially all the other stuff we've talked about where when we eat high calorie processed food, it overrides our appetite, and so we can just keep eating it. So just buy the exact portion, so the small bar that you've accounted for, only buy that for that day. But Sean, I have a family, I have housemates, I have other people living with me that eat that type of food, that's not mine. What do I do? Well, there's a few things we can do. Firstly, we simply want to make it hard to get at. So if we find simply put it in the top cupboard or somewhere out of sight, out of mind, that may be enough. For other people, it's not. If they know it's there, they're just going to go for it. What we can also do, and it may seem extreme, but it works very effective, is we could just get like a box and just keep all our goodies in that and put a lock on. And whether it's our housemates, our sons, our wives, whatever, whoever it is, give them the code and tell them to lock away all the high calorie stuff. This works very, very, very well. That's the first thing. We want to do a nutritional audit of our home environment, see what food's around, take the higher calorie stuff out or make it harder to get at, fill our environment with lower calorie, healthy foods that are very hard to overeat, fruits, veggies, waters, stuff that, especially if we're working from home, we can eat this stuff and it's going to fill us up and we're not going to overeat on it. The same way when we open a fridge, we want that stuff in plain view to be the stuff we're going to pick. Whatever conscious reminders you need to make it as easy as possible to do this. Because again, our brain preferences the higher calorie stuff. What we're trying to do is construct our environment in a way that makes it harder to eat those foods and more prone to eat the foods that are going to make and encompass the majority of a fat loss plan.